Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed.
What?
And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you haters is running from me.
Episode 26, here we are, The Rewind, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. The band is back together. Unfortunately, I'm not home in the East Wing with my equipment as I am in Cincinnati. But Bryant is here. What type of – after he went viral last week, and I'm sure this is his mood. So, house cleaning. Let's get into it, Bryant. I want to give a special shout-out to my dog, my partner. She's amazing. Isis Young, but we call her Ice Young, her nickname, former Syracuse alum, played basketball overseas. But she had an amazing job she did on Sunday at the Barclays with her being on color commentary duty for CBS Sports as Seattle Storm came into town to play the New York Liberty. New York Liberty lost that game, of course, but Ice Young did a tremendous job on air, as she always does, doing great work for CBS, not also on the road as a commentator and broadcaster, but also as a studio host. So I want to give a special shout out to her. That's why I'm wearing her shirt tonight. Your Media, which is her own LLC, does a damn thing. Actually, a few weeks ago, she had another amazing event in Atlanta, partnered with Women's in Sports, the whole broadcasting summit for a bunch of broadcasters or aspiring broadcasters that wants to be in the business. So Ice is doing a damn thing, and I told her I would do my thing and making sure we show her some love on the Rewind, which we will get her on at some point this year. But, obviously, Bryant, in the summertime, during the season, it's a grind. Schedule's always jam-packed. But July 3rd, Bryant's birthday. A week later, Bryant, let's get into it. 400 career wins, 4-time state champion in his co-head coaching career, coached both football and basketball. He's in the York Hall of Fame. Bryant, man, how was your birthday? Did you do anything? I know you went to Chicago, but tell the people how was Big Gar's 55 birthday, double nickel.
No. Double nickels, baby. Double nickels. I felt like I was getting ready to go to the casino. But I changed my mind because the stock market is my casino. I got to keep myself out of that casino because there ain't nothing but gambling, even though the stock market is gambling too. Depends on how you work it. You got to work it, baby. But one of the things I want to do for this segment is I want to give my condolences to the Durham family, Coach Scotty Durham, that I coached with at Central High School back in the early 2000s, passed away maybe a day or two ago, and didn't know anything about it, but my condolences to Coach Scotty Durham's family, and may Coach Scotty Durham rest in peace. Great man, absolutely great man. He brought me over to Central High School, and he was the athletic director over at John F. Kennedy over in Patterson, New Jersey. So, again, condolences to his family, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, we want to send our condolences, of course, to the family of Coach Scott. I don't know him, but, of course, on the Rewind, this is what we do. We give flowers, both good and bad. So, of course, Brian's birthday was last weekend, and then I'm sure not to post-birthday to hear the news of a passing of one of Brian's close friends and colleagues. So all well. We do want to give a special shout-out because I told her I'm going to surprise her on one of our episodes this month, but we want to congratulate, her, Miss Hayden, Elizabeth Hayden, on her retirement this year after 30-plus years at Newark Public School. Miss Hayden will be retiring at the end of the month, officially on the books. So, Bryant, anything you want to say to Miss Hayden on her retirement?
I want to wish Miss Hayden a happy retirement. You can see my face. I had an early retirement, but I was supposed to be retiring with her now this year. But kind of PO'd me that I had to retire a little bit early, but that's okay. It brought me to bigger and better things. But I want to wish Miss Hayden a happy retirement. She's going to be bored as hell the first 6 months of her retirement, but once she figures it out, she's going to be off and running and forget about good old Newark Public Schools, and she may be dabbling into some other things herself. But yes, I can't wait to to party and chill out with her and do some great things. And Sister Hayden, congratulations.
Congratulations, Hayden. Thank you for all you've done for me at my years at Eastside. You always was a great role model, a great person to talk with, and you always kept it real with your wisdom and a free game, as I say. So, Ms. Hayden, congratulations again. Hopefully you will get to enjoy the next 30 years of retirement. And who knows, maybe you can come on with Brian and we'll have a Norton Public Schools episode on the Rewind. We shall see. Who knows?
That shit will take fucking 30 years to freaking go over because that.
Never mind. Brian, man, it's good to see you, brother. How was your trip to Chicago, man?
It was good. That drive is about 11 hours down there and back. I met up with my family. Shout out to Shirley Jackson and the crew. All my cousins and relatives. Looking to buy a house and then going over some financial advising and stuff. I had a great time with them, and hopefully they learn some things and kind of get this generation on the right path and some generational wealth, as well as the wealth now, as my cousin Dana said, the wealth now. So she's wanting that wealth now. We went over some things to do some wealth now, and we went over some generational wealth for the kids that's underneath us as well. So I had a great time. It was long overdue. Plan on going back probably sometime in September, October. So I'm looking at Texas and then Chicago again, and then some other vacation coming around in November, I think. And then next year it's Belize, and then another vacation in November. So I'm enjoying retirement for sure.
I'm in the wrong business, man. I'm doing something wrong. But it's all good.
Called youth. It's called youth. Yeah, earn your stripes.
Hey, look, I'm climbing that mountain, brother. Surely, but shortly, I'm climbing to get to the top of that mountain. So, episode 26. We got a lot coming to you guys. If you haven't, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as like and follow us on all our social media platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. We got a good guest, another alumni of Bryant's, another player that Bryant used to coach in his 30 plus years of coaching. But this brother is an alumni of the high school that I went to. Of course, he's older. Class of 2003. He's a member of the 2002 boys state championship basketball team. Brian's really familiar with that squad as well. But we want to welcome in his first edition, first live episode appearance here on the Rewind. My big brother, who I see his brother all the time at the gym. He's always talking shit. He's always saying, Bryant, that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, which is true. And I knew I couldn't get them both at the same time, but I knew, goddamn it, I would be able to get Jamar. So we want to welcome Jamar Key on to the Rewind. Jamar, good for you to join us, episode 26. I hope you're ready because, you've seen 25 episodes already. You know what comes with it when you come on the Rewind. What's good? Good to see you, brother. Big bro, thanks for coming.
Good to see you too, man. Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, Coach.
Jamar, I know you didn't say that bullshit that he just said. I know. You're my protege. You were the first. You were part of that group that with Eastside that won their first ever state championship in basketball. No question.
Absolutely.
The first one ever. And that team was special because everyone was practically almost the same height at 6'2", 6'3" across the board. Good team. Good
that's true, man. Good times, man. A lot of memories. Man.
A whole lot. Especially when I used to get those phone calls from Miss Contardo of you guys running on top of cars in the middle of the night. You wasn't there, but everybody pays for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. I remember that story too.
Yeah, starting with Mr. Randy Foy and Pierre Mitchell and Dave McSwain and Jeff Carswell and the crew.
Absolutely.
At 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I get a phone call saying, your boys are sitting up there, and they over here at this party, and they right after the game, and we wind up kicking Westside's ass, and they sitting up there, and they running all over goddamn cars, and the police about to lock their ass up.
Man, I remember that story like it was yesterday. I remember that, man, and we laughed so hard about that. I was like, wow. I said, damn. I said the bros got caught.
Yeah. And the bros all pay for it in practice too.
Oh, I remember. I said, you know what? Glad that's not me.
Oh man, we got a pretty good episode tonight. Got a lot to get into. You guys ready to get it on? Because I just want to let you know I am the captain of this ship. I am the man, the land, the law, the executioner, the prosecutor, the defenseman, and the goddamn the judge and jury. But it's gonna be a good one. Let's get into it. NBA free agency. Jamar is a diehard Knickerbocker, and I'm sure he's excited with the news.
Right.
But if you guys didn't know, Knicks hired Mike Brown as the official head coach. Reed's press conference was yesterday to introduce Coach Brown. One of the reporters that came out and asked Coach Brown directly was what's something that he can do differently than Tom Thibodeau in order to elevate the Knicks. Coach Brown's response was, Tom is a tremendous coach and he is a friend of mine, but I don't want to get into the past. I'm just excited about the roster, the things we're going to put in place, and where we can go. Jamar, I'm sure you're excited about the news because it's been a few weeks, if not months, that the Knicks had a fire with no hire plan once they announced the firing of Coach Tibbs. But bringing in Mike Brown with his expertise, his resume speaks for itself. As a championship head coach, he's been in the league for over 20 years. He has the experience from top to bottom. And, of course, recently being fired from the Kings this past season. But what was your reaction when you first heard the news of Coach Mike Brown being the announcer of being the new head coach for your New York Knicks?
I wasn't surprised, but I kind of seen that the Knicks were leaning more towards him. Once I read the article about the second interview, I said, I think they're going to do it. And next thing you know, I got that alert on the ESPN app. You know, Mike Brown, new Knicks head coach. So I'm excited, man. It's it's hard being a Knicks fan, man. You never know what you're going to get. But for the most part, Mike Brown has a very good resume. He's played, he's coached on NBA Finals. He's been an assistant coach. I think he has like 4 championships, if I'm not mistaken. He knows what it takes to win. And I'm just hoping he brings us, takes us to the top, man. I haven't experienced a Knicks championship in my lifetime, but it would be good to see one, man. So let's see what Mike Brown does.
Yeah, he was, of course, NBA head coach of the year in 2022 when he was the coach of the Kings. Of course, not the greatest ways of his exit departure from Sacramento. And a lot of people called for his firing to be something that they weren't fans of. I know me personally, I wasn't a fan of how they fired him. And when he brought so much success and so much atmosphere and energy to that Kings organization, pretty much resurrected them. They haven't really been as relevant since Coach Mike Malone was there. But the Kings have moved on, and Mike Brown's now the new head coach. Bryant, Mike Brown, you were rooting for Mark Jackson to make his return to the NBA after being, I guess it's safe to say, gatekeeped out for the last 12 to 13 years. It's actually funny because he came out with a video the same day that the Knicks announced the hiring of Mike Brown. But you've seen New York head coaches come. Tom Thibodeau's had more success with the Knicks in the last 5 years than the Knicks have had in the last 20. But how much pressure, I should say, do you believe is on Coach Mike Brown as he prepares to enter year one for the New York Knicks?
Well, being with the New York Knicks, it comes with pressure. I think Mike is capable of handling it. Do I think that he's going to take them further than where they've been? I think it's going to be pretty much going to be the same. He's going to play the bench a little bit more. But yet, I like his energy. I like, his drive. He kind of reminds me of myself, especially during practice. He's a no-nonsense type of guy. But it's the NBA, man. The issues that's going to happen is that you have draftees, and every other team is getting better, and the Knicks are getting older. So if he doesn't do anything within the next year or two, then it's going to bypass him. He's going to wait another 10, 15, 20 years for this to come up again because those guys are not getting any younger. So these young kids are coming in at 19 and 20 years old. They're going to want to embarrass it because the Knicks are really not that, big. I mean, they're okay. They're solid, but they have some issues, some gaps they need to fill in. And, and they're starting off with the bench, eventually getting used to having some playing time. So it's going to take him a minute to get them underneath their belt. I think they have a shot to return it. The East may have gotten a little weaker, maybe. But it all depends on what goes on in the offseason and trades and all this going back and forth.
Yep.
You just don't know. It's like toss up. He could have a great year, and then little do you know, a few moves from the West South to the East, then now he's going to look like shit. I mean, Indiana's not going to be very good next year because they have a couple of guys that one is left and went over to Milwaukee. And then you have Halibu. I call him Halibu. He's hurt. He's out for the whole year. So, you just don't know what is coming. I mean, you look at Utah. I'm almost like a Utah fan. They look freaking great. They look great. That there was young guys. They're not ready to play today, but their future look bright if they stay together. But money draws teams all over the place. You don't know what you're going to get. So we'll see.
Yeah, speaking of Knicks offseason additions, Jamar, I know you are pretty excited. We talked about the lack of bench depth that the Knicks have had, especially in the playoffs, but adding Jordan Clarkson from Utah, averaging over 16 points last season, shooting over 40% from the field. I'm sure you're happy with that being your new sixth man off the bench. How do you feel about Jordan Clarkson being on the Knicks, and how do you feel he can adapt with the roster that's already in place, knowing that there's going to be more changes coming before the NBA free agency is over?
I think Jordan Clarkson is like the perfect guy to come off the bench to score. The Knicks lack scoring off the bench, and you saw it in the playoffs. Indiana just killed them when it came to putting guys in, and guys scoring as soon as they get in the game. So Jordan Clarkson, he checks off that box, and he's a proven vet. He's been around for some years. In his younger years, he played with Kobe Bryant, with the Lakers. Played a little bit with LeBron, with Cleveland, so he's a guy that we needed. Even in the regular season, you can plug him into the starting lineup, when guys may need rest or a possible injury or so, so I like the addition of Jordan Clarkson. We needed that scoring off the bench real bad.
Yeah, it'll be something to see for the Knicks. Coach Mike Brown, of course, entering another year. Currently in his career right now, he has 454 wins and 304 losses, coaching in 758 games with a almost 600% win percentage in his career. So Knicks got something good. They just got to continue to put the piece together. Cap-wise, don't have a lot to do because you're going to be paying Karl-Anthony Towns a whole lot of money to hopefully get you to the NBA Finals. But we shall see. It'll be an interesting rest of the summer for the Knicks. We'll see what changes that they have. Moving forward, 17 trade, historic deal, first time in NBA history. Mr. Kevin Durant is no longer a Phoenix Sun. He is now a Houston Rocket. Phoenix getting Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and a few second-round draft picks. It's been a whole lot of movement with this trade. Brooklyn with 2 second-round draft picks. Atlanta's got a second-round draft pick swap in cash. I mean, Kevin Durant and Houston, of course, losing in the second round to the Golden State Warriors. First round to the Golden State Warriors. But this is a pretty good, exciting move if you're a Rockets fan. Brian and I were just in Houston about a few months ago, and I could tell with adding KD to that mix, Houston's going to be on fire. But Brian, what do you think with the move of KD being in Houston, and how much do you it's safe to say you can say that KD and Houston, they just got a lot better, correct?
Yeah, they got a little bit better. I mean, scoring-wise, it still can't play no damn defense. It's just, that's why they got ousted at the first damn round. KD, I call him Mr. String Bean that can shoot, but, defensively, he's a good rim protector. But, you got to play defense in this league, man, if you want to win a championship. It's just what it is. And that team right now, you just boosted yourself up another 15, 20 points, but can you play defense? It's just, can you play hard for 82 games all the way through without getting hurt? KD's getting older. There's some fresh legs that's coming off the bench, to replace him, sit him down so he has to play 32 minutes. Let's see if he can play 22 and have some fresh legs. You don't know. It's a toss up in the air. Did they get a little bit better offensively? Yes. Defensively, I don't think so. So we'll see.
Jamar, let me just point this out before I give you the floor. The Rockets have already made moves, of course, since adding Kevin Durant to the team, already extending Steven Adams, who's a big, good rim protector in this league, who has been a force to be reckoned with in the pick-and-roll game. Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, Jabari Smith has got his new 5-year extension. He's got paid. Fran VanVleet, who's a tremendous piece for Coach Udoka in this Rocket team. And bringing back Clint Capella. If you don't know Clint Capella in Houston with James Harden and Chris Paul, YouTube it or Google it. Another good piece for them. But how do you feel with Kevin Durant being with the Rockets, and how much of a threat do you think Houston can be in the West with having KD on the team?
Adding KD to that team, like Coach Gar said, it definitely boosts their scoring. KD's been around for a long time. One of the all-time greats. But the question is, the defense part. I agree, Coach Gar. Can you play defense? Because when you don't play defense in this league, you get easily torched. And we saw what OKC did. To win the championship, they went down as one of the greatest defensive teams in NBA history. That was very impressive. With the run that they had. So KD's up there, man. I think this is his 19th season. So he's there with some young guys. So it's all about how they gel together. If they can all, come together and focus on the main goal, and that's winning the championship. But that defense is definitely a major factor because they have all the scoring in the world.
Adding a guy who's – go ahead, Bryant.
That OKC being the one of the best. They one of them, but it ain't better than my Bulls. It ain't better than Detroit. It ain't better than Celtics. It ain't better than the Lakers. So they get in line, but way back behind the line. Way back there. Get your ass back there. This is one of the softest damn leagues I ever seen. So they little nonchalant defense playing ass. They just got lucky because this damn is a bunch of cream puffs on that floor. I can't stand this basketball, but I deal with it.
Yeah, you don't really have much of a choice. But temperatures, you got to deal with it. Temperatures rising in Houston. Of course, KD last this past season averaging over 26 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. This guy can score 30 with his eyes closed anytime, any day. So we'll see as we get closer to the end of the NBA free agency what other moves the Rockets may have. But right now, I do believe that they have a championship-ready roster to go out there and compete. Biggest thing is going to be healthy. Can the Rockets stay healthy? They've had some injury issues, of course, this past year, and the production from Jalen Green. I don't blame the Rockets for getting rid of him. He's a liability. Not showing up in the playoffs against Golden State gave me everything I needed to know about him. Those are moments where you step up and earn your wings. And the Rockets had one of the best records that they had this past year that they had in years, especially early on since the James Harden, Chris Paul era. So Jalen Green being gone, Dylan Brooks, a defensive presence. I was surprised by that, but I know Phoenix, they're in the rebuilding stage. They're looking for another head coach and Devin Booker. Just hopefully there could be some winning, but they can't move Bradley Beal. They can't move Devin Booker, who just signed a 2-year extension today. Actually, just a few minutes ago, it broke news. So we shall see. Orlando, how do you feel about them? Does that feel great? Paolo Banchero, the man that I've enjoyed watching since he's entered the NBA from Duke, just signed a 5-year extension, $239 million, averaging over 25 points a game, 7 rebounds. Orlando, one of the hottest teams that, in my opinion, when hot, when healthy, in the Eastern Conference. I expect him to be top 4 in the East when it's all said and done. But Paolo's that guy. He's always been him, and I'm happy Orlando gave him the money that he deserved because his talent speaks for itself. And I think Orlando, or actually I won't say I think, I know, and Orlando will be a threat in the East. You can bet your bottom dollar. But as Brian said, the East is only going to get softer due to Jason Tatum being out all year. Damian Lillard's going to be out. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out. I don't know why Gar calls him Halliburton. Whatever that means.
Halliburton.
Whatever that means.
You got a boo-boo. He heard his boo-boo. So he's Halliburton right now.
He tore his Achilles. That's more than the boo-boo.
He's still a boo-boo. He's hurt. He's out.
Jamar, there's been some crazy moves so far in the NBA offseason with free agency. Duncan Robinson going to Detroit. We got Pascal Siakam, who knows what his future is. I believe he's staying in Indiana. Miles Turner is now a Milwaukee Buck. Damian Lillard is no longer a Milwaukee Buck. He's now a free agent. There's been a lot of moves. Of course, in the NBA, But what's been some of the biggest takeaways that you saw or that you liked so far with the NBA free agency so far?
I'll definitely say the Miles Turner one. I'm not surprised, because he didn't really have the greatest playoff this year. He struggled at times. Was very inconsistent. But with Damian Lillard going down, Milwaukee pretty much snatched them up because they want to do everything they can, to keep Giannis there. We heard about the trade rumors and things like that, as far as him possibly going to, the Knicks and other teams. So that's the NBA is always going to be an off season full of surprises, So players are going to go to teams that we wouldn't expect them to go to, and then we have players that go to other teams, and we know it's not really going to play out that well, So most of the time, you really don't know until the season comes along, how teams are going to play, if they got any better or they take a few steps back, So yeah, definitely, it's always a surprise, in our free agency.
Brian, let me tell you the moves that the Bulls have made so far, in case you haven't known, right? You signed Trey Jones, former Spurs guard. You traded for Isaiah Kuro, who used to be a Cleveland Cavalier, and Billy Donovan is still the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. So how do you feel about the Bulls so far with the free agency just kicking off a few weeks ago?
Do you hear my silence? Do you hear my silence? Do you hear my silence? Next question. Next question. next question. I can't talk about they sorry ass right now. Starting with the head coach. I had enough. You know what I mean? It just, can you feel my silence? My silence is loud. I didn't want to, don't even bring them up ever again. Don't bring them up until they do something real. That makes sense. They're sitting up there and saving money. I can't stomach this place. I can't watch it no more. I mean, I didn't watch them all last year. I swear, I refuse. I'm on strike against their ass. And my own damn cousin plays for them. I'm on strike. It's embarrassing. They're worse than they were when the Orlando Warriors years. That was just terrible. They had some Billy Joe Bob with a beard that was longer than my face. And they sucked back then. They suck now. Dave Corzine and that type of shit.
Can I ask you one more question?
No, you ask me another goddamn question.
Okay, what would you like to see the Chicago Bulls do this NBA offseason?
It's fourth down, snap the fucking ball, and punt. And get rid of every fucking body. Just everybody. Just blow the whole motherfucker up. Blow it up. Blow it up. Just blow it up. It's just terrible. Just get rid of everybody. Just everybody. This sucks. It's just bad. Just bad basketball. It's so bad, I already know that they're going to be 30 wins, 30 and like 50 or 52. That's their record next year. Watch. 30 and 52. It's that bad that I already know that record. You see my face? I haven't seen good basketball since the night, was it 98?
No, Derrick Rose.
No, Derrick Rose in those years? Yeah, since then. And their record was that good and that decent because the East was so bad that it wasn't hard to even get to the finals during that year, especially when LeBron was on Cleveland and he was the only player they really had before Kyrie got there, and he went to the damn finals with nobody. That's how bad it was.
Well, that was 2007, and then he went to Miami 2010 during free agency.
Yeah, joined up with the three, and they went there with 3 versus nobody.
Well, the Bulls had a pretty good team there. You had Derrick Rose, you had Kyle Korver, you had Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, Noah.
Noah. His father is a tennis player.
Joe Kino was one of the best centers at the time in the league.
He sucked. I'm telling you, he reminded me of Dennis Rodman on the softer side. It's just terrible. Don't get me started with the Bulls. Oh, don't get me started,
Jamar.
Don't get me started.
We're gonna move on because I don't want him to blow an artery.
Because if that's going to happen, that's going to freaking happen.
We're gonna move on.
Coach is a tough coach, man. You know, hey, what can I say? You know, I feel his pain, man. You know, it's been a long time since the Bulls have really won anything. You know, and Michael Jordan used to torch everybody, so I feel his pain, man.
Yeah, the Chicago bullshit.
What's the name?
Chicago bullshit.
NCAA football. We're moving on. NCAA football. Media Day has been taking place this past week, if you guys know, from all the other conferences. But most importantly, Big 12 Media Day was on yesterday, and Coach Prime, of course, was the hot man, of course, with his Colorado Bulgars, who finished 9-4 last year in the Big 12, their first year in the Big 12 since they left the Pac-12 previously. One of the things that stood out for Media Day for Coach Prime was saying that it has been easier coaching since his sons are no longer on the team. Of course, both Sanders are Shiloh is – I'm not sure where Shiloh is at. Is he undrafted? Are you going undrafted? I know.
Yeah,
we know Shador's in Cleveland.
Yes, he went undrafted.
He went undrafted. So, of course, both Sanders are no longer there. But Colorado's going to be exciting this year, in my opinion. I think the moves that they've made so far in the portal have been exciting. Of course, Colorado, yet again, another year that they've already sold out season tickets throughout their entire home games for this upcoming season. So, of course, financially, the university is doing bigger and better than ever thanks to Mr. Primetime. Bryant, you've been an advocate for Colorado. You've called out last year that they wouldn't make the college football playoff, but with his statement coming out saying it's been easier to coach, and you kind of know what that pressure is like. What do you see from Colorado this upcoming year? Do you think they have a realistic shot at making the college football playoff this year with, of course, the teams being expanded to now 12?
No. It's wow. You know, this is why. Because you have a new quarterback in there. And when you take out your quarterback when he's used to being there for 2 or 3 years, and then now you replace it with a new quarterback, continuity is hard to have your first year. But with NIL, it makes things harder to gauge. So because nobody develops anybody no more. If any coach is saying that they're doing some developing, they're full of shit. They're not. They're getting ready-made players out of the portal and basically put them in the weight room like they was doing before and putting together a football team. So everybody's got put together teams. The only ones that's doing developing is the D1AA schools or the lower tier D1s or the Division IIs. They're doing the developing now. So the D1 guys are just basically handpicking players and then put them on a roster and then see how the continuity, if it helps or not. Whoever has the highest bidder and the most money. At the end of the day, Colorado, I think they're going to be a 6-6 team. That's my opinion.
What?
What? That's my opinion. Because only for one reason. It's because the quarterback. I was right the first year. I was right the second year. This year, I'm gonna put them back at 6-6 because of the unknown. Look, last year you take Travis. You take Travis out of that lineup, they lose a game or two, right? So they're not 8-4; they're 6-6. You take Travis out of that lineup, they lose a couple of games. So if they're going to be 6-6 with Travis out and they're 8-4 with him in there, now you take the quarterback and him out. Who are you replacing him with? That remains to be seen. I give him the benefit of the doubt going 6-6. I hope I'm wrong because I'm a big Colorado guy. I'm a big.
You are. You are.
Right.
You are.
So, but at the end of the day, they had to prove it because there's new players and everybody else is getting better. So you just, names don't win games. You got to perform. You got to perform. You got to play.
They will.
So
they will.
We will see. I got them at 6-6. New players, new this, new that. You just can't turn on lights and expect them to win with names. They got to play the game. Coaches got to coach too.
That's true. Jamar, quick question, yes or no? Colorado, actually 2 questions. 1, Colorado's winning more than 6 games this year, yes or no?
No. I agree with Coach. Quarterbacks going, their best all-around players going, so you really don't know what you're going to get out of that, so it's going to be interesting to see how things play out with the new guys coming in and some of the remaining players, can they fill in that void, of those players that went in the draft, so I don't really see them going anywhere past 6 games, who knows, I may be wrong, but I don't really see it.
Oh, you are. Both of you. All right, no problem. No problem.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. If they do go past 6 games, no more than 7-6.
You'll buy me dinner.
Huh? No, you
put some dinner on it. They win. Put dinner on it. They win more than 6 games. Put dinner on it. They win more than 6 games. I'll bet that. No problem.
What's their schedule? What's their schedule?
I'll tell you right now. For this upcoming year?
Huh?
For this upcoming year?
Yeah, of course this year.
They have Georgia Tech, Delaware,
Houston. Georgia Tech is tough. Delaware is a lower tier. Go ahead.
Houston
Wyoming, is a tough game.
BYU.
Who?
BYU.
Tough game.
TCU.
Tough game.
Iowa State.
Tough game.
Arizona. Blowout. West Virginia.
Tough game.
W.
That's the tough
Arizona
game.
State. And they finished their last game of the year against Kansas State.
They got smacked last year, so it's a 6-6 season.
We're gonna see. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna see. Coach Bryant and Jamar clearly don't have any faith in this year's Colorado Boulders team. But me, I know you ain't hard to find. You gonna win more than 6 games.
Let's see.
Brian's gonna buy me dinner for it. So we good. It's gonna be exciting. It is a tough schedule. Switching gears to WNBA, Liberty versus the Aces last night. 87-78 was your final. Sabrina Ionescu with 28 points, 9 of 23 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3. She struggled in Sunday's loss as well against Seattle Storm, but good to see her bounce back in terms of her production. 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Leona Fibic, 15 points, 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 9 rebounds. Her partner in crime, Breanna Stewart, assisted with 15, 4 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Aces continue to struggle this year. Jackie Young finished with 19, 5 of 15. She is going to the All-Star game this year. Another one. Congrats to Jackie Young. Asia Wilson, only 14 minutes of play against Liberty. Wasn't really a factor. 2 points, 0 of 3 from the field. Bryant Ace has been struggling so far this year at 9-10. Currently 4-6 on the road. Sunday against Seattle Storm. Jonquel Jones and Natasha Cloud did not play. Did not play again last night. In my opinion, Liberty needs them to back fast. As you saw the Seattle Storm game on Sunday, you'll know exactly what I mean from an offensive standpoint. There was no movement, no rhythm. Ionescu had 20 points in the first half, only finishing with 2 in the second. That's not good enough. But All-Star break is approaching, coming up this month in July. What are some things you look forward to seeing in this year's 2025 WNBA All-Star game in Indiana, where Caitlin Clark plays?
You had to throw that garbage in there, huh?
No garbage at all. No garbage at all.
Hey, look,
2025, Team Naphesia versus Team Caitlin. Naphesia Collier, of course, arguably you can make the argument the best player right now in the WNBA, but it's in Indiana. Indiana play. Caitlin plays for Indiana. It's in Indiana.
You're a CC fan. I get all that, and that's fine.
I'm not a CC fan. I'm a fan of the W. I'm a fan of the W.
You're a fan of the W, aka CC. All right, here we go. So, yeah, because you always got to bring her up. So, but at the end of the day, me and Junior back here, Junior, that's right over there, Junior, we both had a conversation, and we always talk about Paige Beckers and the rest of them, you know what I mean, and Aja and the whole nine. I love what the WNBA has done, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not a big all-star game on neither men's or women's. I'm really not. I'm happy to see them do that thing, and that's a pretty much a great contest to see who can do what against all the best players that's in the W at this point. So that's something that if I have time, because I'm on my grind to watch, but I need to get back my old where I can actually record stuff so I can go back to watching it, because right now I can't record anything. I got to figure out how to do it on my TV, or I can watch it while I'm driving or whatever it may be. But
no.
Oh yeah, I can watch it while I'm driving. Just take a look at a stoplight and then go and put it on pause on my phone. But thank you for the infinity. That's good stuff. So at the end of the day, it's just going to be an all-around great game. I have no opinions on it. I just wait for everything to come out and I can dissect it and slow it down.
You get your matchup. You got Paige on Team Collier.
It's not the matchup that you really want. It's you want the matchup when they playing on their own teams. Everybody's good on these freaking all-star games, so it's like, it is what it is. We'll see how it looks.
I look forward to it. Jamar, do you look forward to this upcoming all-star game in a few weeks? Because I know for me personally, I look at Team Clark, man, they got studs. Leah Boston's been playing phenomenal these past few games, especially with Caitlin Clark's absence. Sabrina Nusko, we know what she could do offensively. Asia Wilson hasn't had the best of years so far of the MVP caliber that we know she can play. Kelsey Mitchell, another Indiana Fever who's just been balling lights out. Gabby Williams, Seattle Storm guard. Jackie Young, my baby. I love Jackie. Big fan of her and her game. And then you got Team Collier. They got some studs too. Brianna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Paige Beckers, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins. I just got triggered. Sorry. Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum. Come on, man. Like this right here is who do you guys like? Let's get an early prediction. Who do you guys like? I'm going Team Clark with Jackie Young, of course. Jackie Young. I said Jackie Young.
No, he said Team Clark.
I think from what I'm seeing, lineups, Team Clark definitely is loaded. I like what the WNBA is doing. As far as just shedding a light on the talent. WNBA was in a dark place for years. So to see these young ladies getting the recognition, and more people are tuning in, watching, such as myself, I've been watching a lot more, getting in tune. So, it's going to be a good game. I think Team Clark going to pull it out.
Cheryl Miller doesn't get her flowers enough, man.
True. True.
Cheryl Miller doesn't get her flowers, man. Without her, there'd be no W. It's just what it is.
Well, she's the pioneer of the W, but there's more than one.
No.
More than one. You can't just say without her. There's more than one.
She's the front runner of this whole thing, man. You can't say that she's not. Man, she is. Look, you was up in the sky somewhere. I want to say something else, but I can't because we on TV. But you know where the hell you was located, and you wasn't even in existence. So at the end of the day, you didn't watch Cheryl Miller. I did, and Cheryl Miller, she kicked the brother's ass. It's just what it is. It's just all the way through till he got to the NBA. So, and her brother was the truth. So what is that telling you about Cheryl Miller? She just doesn't get her just due. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna put. We sitting up there talking about Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. Cheryl Miller would make them look like children.
Cheryl was a beast.
I'm going to tell you this. She would make them look like little kids. Oh, they look like babies. She would destroy them badly.
I'm not disagreeing.
Oh, I know.
Good point.
I know.
I just want to give a special shout out to Elisa Thomas, leading the league in assists, almost averaging 10 a game for Phoenix Mercury. She's just been, man, there's just so many players I can go down right now in terms of just kicking ass and taking names in the W right now. Of course, Phoenix is trying to make a push for the playoffs, but second half stretch, watch out for them. I expect the Aces to make a turnaround in the second half. They've made some three key roster moves this past year, and Kelsey Plum was one of them going to the LA Sparks. I thought that was probably one of the worst moves that the Aces could make as being the defending champs. But, you know, it's going to be an exciting all-star game. We'll talk about it more next week on episode 27. But, Brian, are you going to watch? No. I answered for you. No.
No. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Are you going to watch WNBA All-Star Weekend? No.
Ask me if I watched the NBA All-Star Weekend. I'm gonna tell you, no, I didn't watch that. You know, now you ask me if I watch college basketball. I watch that shit all day long, all day, every day. Watch. I'm not watching. No,
we good. Look forward to it. Jamar, I'm not sure if you're a fan of hot takes. You've had the pleasure, of course, to watch some of Coach Gar's rants for his hot takes for the last 25 weeks. If you haven't, this is what I tell everyone that comes on, and I will tell you this public service announcement. I can't promise you what he's going to say. I can't promise you what he's going to do. But if you didn't know, it's time for this week's edition of Coach Gar's Hot Take. Let's go.
I remember the last time we talked about Travis and him getting married and, you know, splurging money. But this one goes here a little bit deeper because we talk about athletes in the NBA, the NFL now, and the Major League Baseball, hockey, wherever it may be. Majority, like 78% of these athletes are going broke. Like continuously over and over, year in and year out, all the way back from when I was born back in the 70s, all the way up through today. You can talk about Clayton and Dupert, and when they played with Dan Marino, those two guys were found on the streets with no money. And I've been hearing this, and the first thing they come out and do, as soon as they get their checks, they go out and they buy a stupid car, and they go out and buy something depreciating asset. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I have something called common sense because I practice finances for over the past 12 years, and I do a lot of investing. So this is a disclaimer saying that I am not a financial advisor. However, someone needs to really be a fiduciary financial advisor and guide these young men in the right damn direction because it is getting out of control. The NIL deals and they spending their money like water. They going out here and they buying these cars, these Bentleys, these Mercedes-Benz with their own damn money. It's got to be the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my lifetime. You got to put a stop to this bullshit. You're sitting there, you can literally buy these cars for free. And you have no idea how to do it because they're poorly financially educated. Why in your right mind would you go out and buy these things with your first check is the dumbest idea I've ever seen. And the shame on these financial advisors. Every last one of their assets should be fucking fired. You should never touch anybody's asset ever. To sit there and put a purchase on these young men and giving them a damn car, a vehicle, and saying, whoa, I look good on a depreciating asset. It's awful advice. Should never do that. I don't care if you got $56 million in the bank. Doesn't matter. Do it and do it right to where those assets, those financial assets that you have, you can put it in good things called one key word, dividends. Dividends. You can buy this shit for free. Why would you do anything else and go out there and buy a Mercedes-Benz and a Bentley? Stupidest shit I've ever seen. Stop doing it. If you want to debate me on it, bring it, because I have these conversations every single day, and I had enough of it. These damn athletes I got more money than they do, and now I've been working for freaking 20-something years, and they ass come out there $56 million and broke. Shame on you. Shame on the NFL. Shame on the NBA. Shame on the Major League Baseball. Fuck them all. It's disgusting, and I'm pissed off about it. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm fucking pissed. Stop this shit. Enough is enough. Now, if you want to debate me, email me, goddammit. Email me, and I'll get with you.
Email?
And that's my hot take.
Email?
I'll put my damn email on here.
DM you on Instagram?
I think it is on Instagram. But if not, I will put that motherfucker on Instagram. They can email me all they want. Because I had enough.
They can send you a direct message to your DM. They can send a direct. They don't need to
no, I want to email, because what I got to say, that shit's long. It's just what it is. Email me. We can talk that way. And that's my goddamn hot take. Had enough.
Jamar, any comments to Bryant's hot take?
That was a lot, man. You know,
it's a lot to process.
He has some valid points, though. You know, a lot of these athletes, you know, a large amount of them, they come from you know, families that weren't fortunate like that. You know, they get their hands on this money and they just do some foolish stuff. You know, so they need guidance, man. You know, a lot of them, they get this money, they just do foolish stuff. You know, they at strip clubs, you know, they buying this crazy jewelry. You know, they got the women that's distractions, you know, wanting to marry them, have their babies, and then divorce them, snatch everything that they worked so hard for. You know, then they sitting around just looking crazy at the end with nothing. You know, next thing you know, they trying to get on ESPN or Fox Sports on one of these shows, you know, to get another check. You know, so yeah, man, if they had the right people to just guide them, you know, and help them manage their money and just make smart decisions, you know, it'd be a lot better. You know, and like that goes for the other sports too. You know, because these soccer players, hockey players, baseball players, they all are making foolish decisions. You know, not all of them, but a large amount of them are. You know, so just gotta make better decisions, man, moving forward. You know, so this generation, man, they're different. They're different than back in the day. You know, a lot of stuff I just be shaking my head.
Jamar, you said something very, 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 very key. You said that these guys are going on here on ESPN and all different TNT networks and whatever it may be, just so they can get a check. You know what that's doing? That's stopping guys like Monty Moss from getting a job, because they are fiscally irresponsible that they got to continue work and doing something they don't even have a degree in doing.
Yeah.
Nor passion.
They're getting up there, they saying crazy stuff up there, you know, like
it makes no sense.
Man, he makes me cringe. Like Perkins, yeah. I'm like, how is he still on TV? You know, some of the stuff he says I just shake my head. Man. I'm like, this is not good takes on sports. You know, it seems like anybody could get a job, you know, in there, and they last long.
I can't.
Damn. I'm like, damn.
But you sit here, you know? and you have a young man like Monty Moss that's got to do it the long way. He's grinding. He's better than most of them bozos that's on TV. And then you're sitting there, and he's got to go through all this reels and do all this freaking. He got his own podcast and all this stuff, and they're sitting up there fiscally irresponsible, taking the next man that's hungry's job, and then next thing you know, he's got to be behind because he was fiscally irresponsible. He didn't want to do what he was supposed to do, so now he needs an extended career check.
Yeah, and Monty's a natural, man. Every time I see Monty, I always show little bro his love, give him his flowers, because he's good at what he does, man. And I would love to see him on TV to replace some of these guys, because I listen to some of these takes and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about, man?
And that's why I'm bringing this up. That's why he was scared to understand someone. Well, we talked about this. Oh, not the way I'm talking about it today. That shit is some nonsense.
I think the thing is, first off, thank you. Love always all for giving people their flowers while they're here. It's just God's plan. We'll see what happens in the future. Just got to keep putting in the work, just keep the discipline up, and just keep showing up. Results to show. So, but I think to add on to it, it's just a tragedy to what these agents do these days. It's just highway robbery. What these advisors do. They make things look good on paper just to show you in front of you, but behind closed doors. If you don't know what's going on with your accounts, your investing accounts, in terms of obviously when you get your payday, but they take classes on it. The league puts structures and practices in place to educate these young rookies that are getting ready to come in and make some money, rather it's their first deal or their second deal or whatever the case may be, and they just make poor decisions. I mean, if you get your first check and you blow it before you can even think about playing an entire year in your professional career, that's just insane. Where's your advisor at to guide you in terms of what's to prioritize in terms of the money that you may spend? Because of course you get your first check, you want to buy your mom a house or dad a house, you want to buy jewelry, you want to buy a car or whatever, but be smart. You know what I mean? But these days, talking to kids or people my age, it's like goes in one ear and out the other, and just their support system. I mean, it's like you work so hard to get to the top of the mountain, to earn the respect and to earn the top dollar and to get it and then be careless with it. I mean, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It pisses me off.
You blow it all on one nut. You blow it all on one nut. Just blow it. All in one nut. I mean, what kind of look? Some of them had 12 nuts and it made 12 kids. Now you're really blowing it times 12.
Yeah, it's wicked.
It don't make no goddamn sense.
It's wicked.
Let's get into rewind of the week. This week's edition of Rewind of the Week, I'm showing love to my guys, New York Mets, LGM, taking a 2-1 Subway Series lead a few games ago. Second place right now in the NL East. Juan Soto leads the team at home runs with 21 with a .269 batting average. Pete Alonso's been doing really, really decent for me. I'm okay. I'm happy as a Met fan, performing solid, batting over 290, 75 RBIs, leads the team in that category, and also leads the team in hits. My Mets got to keep going. We got to keep grinding. I just want to give him a quick shout out. I'm not going to go into detail. Yes, we gave Juan Soto all that money, but still early in the season. We're in July. We play baseball in October. That's when all the real money starts. So my Mets, let's just keep kicking ass. And we're not going to talk about Brian's Chicago White Sox, even though the Cubs are doing well, but we're not here to talk about that. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the week, Floss and Moss. Any Yankee fans? I don't have anything against you guys personally, but it's always good to smack that ass during the Subway Series. I know last year we swept you. This year we good. Yeah. Floss and Moss. Let's go. All right, gentlemen, we're going to do things a little different this week. Normally, I have a whole thing cut out for this, but this week's edition of Floss and Moss, we're going to change things up. The power of the pivot, audible at the line of scrimmage. We're gonna do. Start one, bench one, and cut one. So I'm gonna take two groups of the all-time greats of NFL running backs, and I'm gonna take two groups of all-time greats of quarterbacks. I'm gonna go around the room. I'll start with Jamar, Bryant, then myself. Start, bench, and cut. First, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. Jamar, start, bench, cut. Who'd you pick?
Okay, so everybody knows I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I would start Barry Sanders. In my opinion, I think he's the greatest of all time. That guy was just incredible, what he did. Bench, Walter Payton. And I love Emmett. I grew up watching him, but we got to cut him.
Bryant?
This is a no-brainer for me. You already know what's getting ready to happen. Friggin' Barry Sanders didn't play long enough. That's doggone it. I'm starting Walter Payton. That's my guy. 20-plus years. Can't go wrong with him. The best that ever played the game. I'm probably going to bench. I'm going to bench Barry. Because Emmett had a strong offensive line that you could have had Moses part to see up in that thing. So his ability is, he was just a north-south runner. He was very strong with his legs, but that offensive line, man, that's probably, I haven't seen an offensive line like that in since the 90s. It just haven't seen it yet. But that offensive line was brutal. I mean, it's like, Troy Aikman used to sit back there and take a nap, and pass the ball. He wasn't even touched. I don't even think he ever had an injury. Hell, it was just, he was flawless, with the offensive line. So if anything, I'm gonna take Walter Payton. I'm gonna bench Barry, and then Emmett, you gotta kick rocks. Cut.
I'm cool with that. I'm gonna stick with the same thing with Bryant. I'm gonna start Walter. I'll bench Barry, and I'll cut Emmett. Could have put me back there at running back for the Cowboys in the 90s, and we still win 5 Super Bowls. So I'm cool with that. Second round, got Adrian Peterson, Martin, and LaDainian Tomlinson, a.k.a. LT. Jamar, start, bench, cut. Who you got?
That's a tough one there, man. I watched all them guys. Some guys were super tough, man. I would say LaDainian, bench. You said Curtis Martin, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would bench Adrian, and I would cut Curtis Martin. And I love all three of them, man. It was a pleasure watching all them guys, man. Them guys were lights out, So that's my picks.
That was tough, Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a tough three. I'm gonna give you applause for putting these three together because one of these three I played against in college. So with Adrian Peterson, he went to OU. So I'm definitely going to start him. LaDainian, I'm going to bench him without any question. Curtis Martin with the University of Pittsburgh, he's got to get cut. He's small. He's smaller than both of those guys. But let me tell you something. He kicked our ass. He was fast as hell. Curtis Martin was a beast. And, my Haggard, that team that he was on was loaded. And, he was one tough-ass football player, but he wasn't as good as those other two. So, Adrian, without any doubt, starts because he would run through your mother. If she had 3 bricks in her shoes to kick him right in the face, he would run right through her ass. So, LaDainian is a tough nut, but yet he's going to come off the bench. And basically, I'm cutting Curtis Martin.
I'm cool with that. I'll stick with that also. I'll start AP. I'll bench LT. And I'll cut Curtis only because he played for the Jets, and I can't stand those sorry-ass Jets. My Patriots have to see them twice a year. So I'm good with that. Of course, AP, man, one of the best running backs to ever play the game. I mean, he didn't need an offensive line in Minnesota. He did it on his own. If it wasn't for the injuries, as we all say with a lot of players, he's definitely, in my opinion, deserving to be a Hall of Famer. Now, will he be one? I am not sure because that Hall of Fame committee is a a little frickle. You know, we're not going to talk about that. So I'm cool with that. Quarterbacks, my favorite. Sorry, I didn't do wide receivers. We'll probably do that next week. But quarterbacks, two greatness of row of players. Same thing. Brian, I'll start with you first. We have the GOAT, Tom Brady, another GOAT, Joe Montana, and then another GOAT in Peyton Manning. Start, bench, cut, and choose wisely. Be careful.
All right. So I'm just gonna go right off the bat. I'm going to
tread
start
lightly.
I'm going to start Joe Montana because Joe did magical things at his size and his height. He did some phenomenal things that most people his height and size cannot do. I've seen him do some things, man, with him and Jerry Rice. That was just absolutely phenomenal. And it's I know he had a little bit more of talent than maybe Tom Brady, but my man was still like Doug Flutie back there. He was doing his damn thing. So I'm definitely, without any question, I'm going to start Joe Montana. Tom Brady, without any question, will be my bench guy right underneath him. And I'm going to cut Peyton Manning, even though that's a gut wrench cut, because I am a true Manning fan. I love Manning, you know what I mean? But my man, to me, Manning and Dan Marino are similar type quarterbacks. They can just throw the hell out of football, but Dan Marino couldn't win one at all. But at the end of the day, they gave Manning one at the end of his year in Denver, and he won one with the Colts. So, but I definitely would bench Peyton Manning, even though it hurts me.
Cutting Peyton. Are you still upset that they beat the Bears in 06?
I cut his ass, didn't I?
Jamar, who you got, man? Start, bench, and cut.
Okay, so as we can see, all of these guys, they were great at what they do. Fun to watch them. Starting, that's a tough one, man. I go with Tom Terrific, man. This guy, he just found a way to just keep winning those rings. He had some good teams back him up. A lot of people were angry, with the allegations and things like that. I'll start him. Bench, Joe Montana, man. A lot of people feel like Joe Montana is their GOAT. I can't argue that. Joe Montana, man, was phenomenal in his time. Played on some pretty good teams. That was a tough one to put him, on the bench. And then cut, Peyton. Peyton won 2 Super Bowls, but he didn't have the success like the other two, as far as winning those rings. He got some in his career, but he was a hell of a quarterback too, man. In my opinion, I think from a talent perspective, he did things, like with his eyes closed, and you just look back and you're like, wow, like, did he just do that? But like I said, the other two guys, they had no success. So yeah, that's my start.
Chris, solo shot, please. Now,
we don't need this solo shot. We already know what you're doing.
Listen. Be quiet. You had your turn. I got the floor, right? You guys already know where I'm going with this. And I love all 3 quarterbacks. I mean, Tom and Peyton has had some damn good games these past 20 years playing against each other, rather he was in Indy or rather he was in Denver. I'm still upset at us losing the AFC Championship in Denver because I believe we would have won the Super Bowl that year. I'm also upset that Joe Montana, man, he's a great, all-time great. No question about it. Greatest all-time, TB12. Starting to go. Let's go. Tom Brady. Bench, I got to bring Montana off the bench. What? Got to. That's a layup. And, of course, Peyton, nothing against you. Tremendous career. I was upset you beat us in 06 also in the AFC Championship in Indy because without a doubt we would have beat Chicago that year in the Super Bowl anyway. So that would have been a layup. But can't take away the greatness of Peyton after coming back from neck surgery, going to Denver, leading the league in touchdowns, Demaryius Thomas. I mean, he had a offense and defense that was just woo! Couldn't top it. Besides getting blown out to Seattle. But we beat Seattle in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember that. Legion of Boom. Yeah, we Tom Brady, we took care of that. No problem. So that's my pick. And for any haters out there that want to say anything, GOAT disrespect, Brady disrespect will not be tolerated. Last round, gents. Here we go. We got Drew Brees, gunslinging Brett Favre, and Dan Marino. Bryant, lead the way.
Well, you already know I got Dan Marino. I'm just going to take Danny. That's my guy. That's my ace in the hole. Got to take him out of this group. My second, I'm going to take Drew Brees. You know, as far as to cut, I'm not cut, but come off the bench. Brett Favre, I don't like him personally. You know, for other reasons. So when I see a player I don't like, I cut his ass, and his ass is cut in my book, and he'd never ever bring his ass back on my team, ever, as a personal reason. But that's okay. You know, I don't think he's pretty much he can throw the ball. He's a gunslinger and all that other stuff. Yada yada yada. Yeah, whatever. I don't like his personality. It is what it is. Give me Danny. Give me Drew, and cut the Green Goblin because the Bears don't like the Green Goblin. Ever.
Jamar, lead the way, brother.
Another list of very good quarterbacks, man. As far as the starter, he's a little before my time, but I have seen a lot of highlights of him. Dan Marino, man. Dan Marino was awesome. That guy could throw a football. One of the prettiest throws, man, that you'll ever see in the NFL. Wish he could have won a little more. But it's unfortunate, some guys, some greats, they don't get that opportunity, to win those rings. So I will start Dan Marino. Bench. I'm gonna go with Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees won me a lot of money in the NFL fantasy leagues, man. I used to start that guy, and I would be losing. And Drew Brees get in there and light it up, man. His stats is incredible. His body of work. What he did around the NFL. He did get a Super Bowl out of the deal. And bench. I agree with Coach Gar, man. Brett Favre was a good quarterback, but all this stuff that took place, I lost tons of respect for him, man. Some things you can't honor. Brett was a good quarterback, but I just think Brett is a terrible human being. So, I gotta cut him.
Okay. I'm gonna go the same order. I don't have anything wrong. I'm going to start Drew Brees just to change things up. Put Drew Brees with any offense. He'll make magic happen. I wish personally he would have still been a Charger at the time before being traded to New Orleans. But, of course, it worked out to be a one-hit wonder with him winning the Super Bowl and beating, of course, Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to bench Dan. Rather bring Dan off the bench. Offensive line or not, he's got the legs, he's got the arm, one of the best arms, one of the best actors, can put the ball anywhere on the field, tight windows, you name it, he can do it. No disrespect to Brett Favre, gunslinging Brett. He's had tons of games, high risk taker, throws more interceptions than I can name, takes more high risk than I can imagine. He gave Mike Holmgren almost a heart attack when he was in Green Bay in 95 and 96. but he has some talent. Went to a Super Bowl, is a Super Bowl champion. Can't take that away. But Brett is an all-time great for sure, Hall of Famer. But I got to cut him. I got to cut him for Mississippi welfare issues. But that's all I got to say about that. So, gents, getting ready to sign off episode 26. Jamar, I want to say thank you for coming on. But the floor is yours. Tell the people where they can follow you, where they can show some love to you. Because one thing about the Rewind and GSC3, they support and show love no matter what we do or who we have on. So we want to make sure you get that love also. So tell the people where they can support you, where they can follow you on your social media platforms.
First and foremost, man, it was a pleasure getting up there with you. I appreciate the invite. We go way back. Monty, my little bro, Coach Gar. We go back a long time, man. Coach was like a father figure to me. He played a major role in, my future. I'll carry myself, discipline, all that stuff. So definitely love you guys, man. As far as the followers, they can follow me on Instagram at J Everyday 85 J85 Everyday 85 on Instagram and on Facebook. Jamar Key. Reach out to me. I like to crack jokes and look at funny videos and stuff like that. Just enjoy life, man. So I appreciate you guys for having me again.
Always a pleasure. You're welcome anytime. And I appreciate you not being biased tonight because, sometimes, everyone just tends to they want to lean towards Coach Gar's with what he says. You just got to, if he says something stupid, you got to be able to call him out on it. But always a pleasure. I appreciate the love and support you've given us since day one with the Rewind when we launched in January. And I made sure it would be my mission at some point before we go on our little hiatus. I don't know what you guys talk about when I say hiatus, to get you on here, but you're always welcome back, of course. But Bryant, any last remarks before we sign off episode 26, my brother, 26 weeks strong? Floor is yours, Bryant. Last
thank you.
Remarks before we sign off.
Well, at the end of the day, sorry about that. I got a little bit of snafu. But at the end of the day, man, it's good to be here 26 episodes. I got to make sure that my phone stays clean. I'm trying to do the best I can because you keep sending me all this crap throughout the day. And I got to keep erasing it with all these emojis and emblems and all this other nonsense. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But they keep loading up my phone. But I'm looking forward to episode 26, 27, 127, 227. And then hopefully by that time you'll be on ESPN doing your thing because I had my little rant and rave earlier. But I appreciate being here with you guys, and it's been great, fantastic. I get to vent. A great place to vent. So I'm looking forward to it. And we're gonna have a little break here in August, which is well deserved, but that's okay. We're back, coming in piping hot, especially when Colorado coming in at 6-6 this year. Let's go.
Listen, it's a sports podcast, not a damn therapy session. All right, understand that. Whatever problems you have going on outside this podcast, you take care of it. When you come here, strictly sports. But I love you. I appreciate you. My man, my co-host, 26 weeks straight. If you haven't, please show some love and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. Want to give a special shout out to my dog, Canadian's finest, Chris at 1990 Studios, for the work they do for us each and every week. They've been grinding it out just like we had 26 weeks straight. He takes care of all of our reels that you see on our social media platforms, as well as our YouTube channel with YouTube Shorts. He does a damn thing, so I want to give him his flowers. Appreciate him. You can follow us on Instagram as well, and Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on there also. Click it, subscribe it, like it, listen to it. If you can't watch us in person and see a sexy man like myself, because, one day I'm going to be GQ Sexiest Man of the Year. Watch. Before it's all said and done, GQ Sexiest Man of the Year. Don't know what year yet. We're going to get there. But episode 26 has been a blast. Appreciate you guys coming on. Episode 27 next week. Got three great guests coming on as Bryant disappeared. Jamar will ride it out with me. So from Bryant Garvin, my co-host, to Jamar Key, my guest, to Chris 1990 Studios, episode 26 in the books. the captain of the ship, Monty Moss, signing off. We'll see you guys next week. And go Mets.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed,
What?
and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me.